Good evening to all of the horror lovers out there. It is Black Metal Werewolf with Horror 100 News, the news segment where we will cover everything from monsters and murderers to psychos and slashers. And this is just one of the stories we are working on in the Horror 100 newsroom. Now, I'm sure plenty of you will be excited to hear this news, because it is regarding one of the best science fiction and horror movies ever made, The Thing. Just for a bit of backstory for those of you who don't know, The Thing was originally a short story called Who Goes There, which was then turned into the 1951 movie The Thing from Another World. Acclaimed director John Carpenter loved both the short story and the movie, and he even included parts of it in his own movie, Halloween. Once he became a big enough film director, he decided to do his very own remake of The Thing back in 1982. Unfortunately, the movie didn't do so well at the time, but it is now recognized as one of the best horror movies ever made. There was even a prequel movie made back in 2011, but the less said about that CGI nightmare, the better. So, what is the news? Well, actually, it's regarding one of the forgotten pieces of Thing media, the 2002 video game. Yes, believe it or not, there was actually a video game that acted as a sequel to the 1982 movie that was released on PlayStation 2, the original Xbox, and PC. Well, yesterday, on June 7th, 2024, it was announced that the Thing video game is getting a remaster, and not only did we get that announcement, but we also got a trailer from IGN. I have not watched it yet, so I thought it would be fun to check it out together, and then we can talk about it. But before we get into that, don't forget to check me out on social media. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and I now have a Twitch channel. Also, don't forget to check out my paranormal podcast, The Lost Campfire, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Also, if you have your very own paranormal story that you would like to share, you can send it to thelostcampfire@gmail.com today to possibly be featured in a future episode. So don't be shy and share your tale with all of us paranormal enthusiasts out there. But now, let's get to the trailer. Okay, let's give this a watch, shall we?
I'm gonna hide this tape when I'm finished. If none of us make it, at least there'll be some kind of a record. The storm's been hitting us pretty hard now for 48 hours. We still have nothing to go on. One other thing. I think it rips through your clothes when it takes you over. Windows found some shredded long johns, but the name tag was missing. They could be anybody's. We're all very tired.
Oh, there's the block device, yeah.
There's nothing else I can do. Just wait.
Atari? When the fuck was the last time they made a game? Jesus. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Oh, I remember those fucking things from the game. Oh, this is gonna be fucking sick.
Hey, you got company.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh yeah, and there it is, the thing. Okay, well, that was the trailer. Now let's talk about it. So, if my reaction didn't give it away there, after watching that trailer with you guys, I am obviously very excited. But there are a few things I am concerned about. So, first of all, this game is being marketed as a remaster and not a remake, which kind of confuses me. Because I'm not against games being remastered, but we're not talking about a game from like 2013 being remastered for like the PlayStation 5 and the Series X. We're talking about a game from 2002 being remastered for the current consoles and PC. Like, how much can you remaster a game that's over 20 years old at this point? Why they didn't just kind of scrap it and rebuild the game from the ground up in a total remake? To me, that seems like a far better idea, giving it modern mechanics and better graphics and a better story, better voice acting, you know what I mean? Just a few years ago when they did the remakes of the Destroy All Humans games, they didn't just remaster them, they built a whole new world, did the whole thing, they included more mechanics and everything, and it's a remake, it's not a remaster. So just that is kind of concerning me. So I wanted a bit more information as to what is going on with this, and I was able to find this article on Bloody Disgusting. So according to this, Night Dive has upgraded the game for the modern era through its proprietary KEX engine for play on current generation gaming devices, including 4K resolution at 120 FPS. The Thing Remastered will also sport updated character models, textures, and animations with the implementation of advanced 3D rendering for updated lighting and atmospheric effects. Okay. So the information from that article does put my mind at ease a little bit, but there are still some concerns because mostly that article was mainly just talking about graphics. It's like it's going to have 120 FPS and 4K resolution and advanced lighting and everything. That's all great. So we know the game's probably going to look very good, but it's the gameplay that I'm worried about. Because, we're not talking about remastering a game from 2012 here. We're talking about remastering a game from 2002. Gameplay is at a standard now that a game from 2002 cannot live up to. So, in my opinion, they really should just remake. They shouldn't be calling it a remaster. They should be calling it a remake. They should be taking inspiration from the original game and building upon that, not just making an old game look pretty. So, I don't want to judge the game ahead of time because that's totally unfair. But I am a little worried that when the game comes out, people are going to be spending a lot of money on a really good-looking 2002 game. And as much as I enjoyed the game back in the day, the gameplay will not hold up today. It needs a whole rebuild around that. So, like I said, I'm not going to judge it ahead of time. I am just a little concerned. Unfortunately, it did not give us a release date. I think it just said sometime this year. So I guess we'll see unless it gets delayed. I'll just kind of be a little hesitant. I'll wait for reviews to come out because, like I said, I don't want to be spending a lot of money on a game that plays like something from 2002. Now, I know it seems like I'm really dunking on this game, but I don't want to be. All I'm saying is I'm a little hesitant that it's not going to hold up gameplay-wise. But like I said, I don't want to judge it beforehand. I'll have to wait until I can actually sit down and play it myself and really see how the game actually holds up. So, fingers crossed it turns out well. But with all of that being said, there is a point I would like to bring up that's actually a positive. And that is that over the past several years, a lot of our beloved 80s horror properties have been being turned into video games. The problem is the way they're turning them into video games. Now, let's say something like Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th has a pretty interesting story, and with that base, you can make a really cool single-player game with an interesting story, interesting mechanics. And the Friday the 13th game has none of that. It is simply an online multiplayer game, 5 versus 1, and that's it. Even though you can't even play that game now, I don't think. But they also did it with Evil Dead, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and I'm not sure if the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game is out yet, I can't remember. But all of those games, there's a lot of cool information here that you could use to turn into an awesome single-player story, and they're just not doing it. They're just taking these properties, using it as a nostalgia bait, so people will play their crappy, mediocre online games. That is so lame, and I am so glad they are not doing that with The Thing. Because of all the games that you could actually turn into a multiplayer game, The Thing is actually one of them that makes sense. But the idea that they're actually taking the story and going with it, even though, yes, it is a remake or a remaster of an older game, I really appreciate taking that and making an awesome single-player campaign, and not just using it to get people to play your crappy game based on nostalgia pandering. So, good on them for that. So that is it for Horror 100 News. But now, of course, I want to get your guys' opinion on all of this. Are you excited for The Thing remaster, or are you a little hesitant like I am? Please let me know down in the comment section. I would absolutely love to know what you guys have to say about all of this. And as always, thank you all very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.